Janice is dealing out 2 brand new decks of cards, and here comes a new challenger on Card Sharks. Dave Wright. Hi, Dave. Fine. Nice to meet you. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself, sir?
Well, I'm Dave Wright. I'm from Dothan, Alabama. I've been out here a couple of years now. I've got a nice German wife and a couple of fine kids, and I'm in sales.
Good. Your wife has a German accent?
No, she is German.
Oh.
No, she is German.
No, but I mean, she speaks with a German accent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
And you speak with it. What accent are the kids growing up with?
Well, sort of mixed.
Sort of mixed.
Sort of mixed.
It's nice to have you all here, Meinherr. You cut the cards, Dave?
I sure did.
All right, here we go. Nice to have you
all
here.
Right, thanks.
We'll start the best 2 out of 3 with a question to Peggy.
Okay.
Now, we've all read those stories about rich people getting out of paying any income taxes. You know, they crop up in the papers from every so often. So we asked 100 millionaires, since you became a millionaire, have you gone a year without paying any income tax? How many millionaires have gone a year without paying income tax?
I think that the way they might have saved their millions is by not paying any income taxes in 1 year, but I still don't think it's a very high number, and I'm going to say about 22.
22 out of 100 millionaires have avoided tax a whole year, Dave.
You know, Jim, I think that the more money you make, the less you pay. That's the way the system goes, I believe, and there's so many loopholes in the tax laws that number is even going to be lower than that.
He said, well, I don't want to misinterpret your thinking, but the question is how many millionaires have gone a year without paying income tax? She says 22 have gone a full year. Dave?
I'd say less than that.
You say lower.
Oh,
okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I misinterpreted the way you were thinking,
Yeah.
and you say lower. The actual number of millionaires who've gone a year without paying income tax is 3. It is very much lower. Dave, you've got it. Yeah. Nobody gets away from the tax man. And Dave starts the match with an 8.
Oh, no, change that. No, change that. No.
Getting rid of the 8, a 6.
Oh, that's no good. Higher, Jim.
Higher than a 6, yes, a
Hey,
king.
lower, Jim, lower.
Lower than a king, a 7.
It's free.
We move over the freeze bar, and the question to you, Dave. Sorry about that, Dave. I wasn't sure where your thinking was going on the last one. David, our man on the street went to a small city in Japan where he asked 100 women, can a couple have a good marriage even if they don't love each other? How many Japanese women said a couple can have a good marriage without love?
I think in history, when I took Japanese history in college, that it was the old generation was like that. The new generation now, I believe, you've got to love them to stay together, and I think that number is going to be fairly high. And
how many say a couple can have a good marriage without love?
Can have? Oh, no, you can't. I'd say that number is going to be about 26.
26. Higher or lower, Peggy?
I think Japan is still a very traditional country, and I think that number's going to be a little bit higher,
Keep it
not
higher.
much. A little bit higher.
Oh, a couple of oohs from the audience on that. The actual number of Japanese women who said a couple can have a good marriage without love is 41. Peggy is right. It is higher. And this time it's Peggy with a look at her base card. A 10.
I'm going to change it. Let's get
Changing the 10 to a 9.
Oh, all right. Lower.
Lower than a 9. Yes, a 3.
Higher.
Higher than a 3. It is a 7.
3.
That's a tie. Each player with a 7 as a base card, and each needs 2 cards. Peggy, question 3 to you. We asked 100 people, have you ever dreamed you were naked in public? How many people have dreamed they were naked in public? Peggy, are you a little stunned there with that question? Hang on there.
Bring me back.
How many people have dreamed they were naked in public?
I don't think they want to admit it, but I think in a confidential questionnaire.
They're always confidential.
Yes. 53.
53.
Yeah, that's a common fear.
You ever done that?
No comment.
She says 53, Dave. What do you think? Higher or lower?
I tell you, that number has got to be higher, because confidentially, I've felt that sometime. As walking down the street and see somebody, says, I wonder what they look like naked there. That number's going to be higher.
Oh, you wonder what they look like
Yeah,
naked in
that's
your
right.
dreams?
Yeah.
I want to be in his dreams, that's for sure. You say higher. The actual number of people who've dreamed they were naked in public is 32. It's not higher, it's lower. Peggy. And Peggy, you've got a 7.
Change the card.
The 7 becomes an ace.
Lower.
Lower than an ace, a king.
Lower.
For the first game of the match, lower, it is with a jack. Peggy wins game 1 and $100. Oh, that ace and king came up nicely for you. And we'll set up for game 2, Janice, if you will. The next card's off the top of the deck. Now, Dave, you need this game.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Janice deals them out. I'll get it. Question to you, Dave. Dave, we found 100 ex-convicts. These are all men who have served time in prison. And we asked them, were you a Boy Scout? How many ex-convicts were Boy Scouts?
Well, the Boy Scouts been around a long time, and I don't think, you know, when you're growing up like that, you know, you're not thinking about going on a life of crime. So I think that number's going to be fairly high. I'd say 63.
63 out of 100 ex-cons were Boy Scouts.
I think Boy Scouts do a lot to keep boys out of trouble, and I'm going to say that number's lower.
Lower. The actual number of ex-convicts who were Boy Scouts is 42. It's lower, Peggy. You got it. Yeah. And Peggy starts off the game with a king.
Lower.
Lower than a king, a 5.
Higher.
Risking it higher. No. And there's a break for Dave. Let's see if he can take advantage of it. You have a jack.
Oh, lower, Jim, lower.
Lower than the jack, a 2.
Higher, Jim, higher.
Higher than a 2, an ace.
Hey, lower, Jim, lower.
Lower than an ace, a 6.
Freeze, Jim.
You're in a freeze. He gave that one a long pause.
Freeze.
And that moves over the freeze bar, and of course, you're now protected in that position. Let's see if the strategy works out. Peggy, the question to you. Peggy, we asked 100 people. Interesting question. If 2 senior citizens want to get married, but they'll lose their Social Security payments if they do, is it okay for them to live together instead? How many people think it's okay for senior citizens to live together so they won't lose their Social Security payments?
A lot of people are really sympathetic to the plight of older people, and I think they feel that they deserve something in life, and if that's what it takes, I think they think it's okay. I'm going to say 74.
74 out of 100 say, yeah, that's all right, Dave.
I'm going to go along with that. You know, I can't see older people eating dog food, anybody, and I've seen it happen in the news. You know, and I don't think it's going to be that high. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that high.
So you
It's
say
gonna be
lower
than that.
You
Yep.
say lower.
It's
She
gonna be
kind
lower
of put you on the spot there with
Yeah,
that
it's gonna be
74.
lower.
74 and lower. The actual number of people who think it's okay for senior citizens to live together so they won't lose their Social Security is 76, not lower. Peggy, you got it. And Peggy, you got a king.
I'm going to keep the king and lower.
Lower than a king. It is a 5.
Higher.
Higher than a
Gotta go.
5. A king as well.
Lower.
Lower than the king. A jack.
I've got to go for it. Lower.
He's going to go for it. If it's lower, Peggy is the champion once again. No! And a 4th face card came up for Peggy, and that is a big break for the
Higher,
challenger.
Jim, higher. It's got to
Dave's
be
got a
higher.
6. If it's
Got
higher,
to be.
he's tying up the match. He did! So it looked like that freeze paid off for David. We've got to tie each player with 1 game, and we'll be back right after this. Talking about the old days in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
My mother from Mobile, and you're from Dothan.
Yeah.
And Peggy and Dave are going to invite you back, of course, on Monday. We're going to finish this match. You're good players. Hope you'll come back and join us then. And Monday's a big day for us because we're going to find out who wins that home viewers sweepstakes. We're very grateful for everyone who's taken part in it. I wish we could have everyone a winner, but we're going to find out who it is on Monday on Card Sharks. Have a nice weekend. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
The weekends are when your favorite shows are on GSN. We've got fun and games, Sim Brett's big frames, big beehive hair, and Regis in the chair. Dawson's giving kisses and trying to find a missus. Don't pick a stopper or a big belly flopper. Always avoid the whammy, and Carnes is acting hammy. Roger tests your brain, and the handsome Dylan Lane. Weekends are when your favorite shows are on GSN.